At the beginning of the second video, I would like to share with you the content of the PowerPoint and the videos. Please look at the number here. This is the page number of the textbook. You should refer to the numbers. And then this one. This is the content of the related paragraph of the textbook. And on the left-hand side, they're highlighting of your textbook. Indeed, I would like you to have your own highlighting. After that, follow mine so that you can compare the difference between the two. And then on the right-hand side, here, you can find some notes for you to take. This is the structure of the PowerPoint shown to you. This is the second term for you to learn history. For some of you, the second year is for me to be your subject teacher. So, what is IH related subjects? They are not equal to boring. They are not equal to S.3. They are not equal to short questions. They are not equal to reciting certain paragraphs. They are actually all science. Human science, or we can call it social science. Same as natural science, in history, there are formulas and theories. They can help you to understand the structure of the society, the trend of the civilization. So, need not to spend a lot of time to memorize a list of names, a list of places, a list of times. Still, you can understand what was happening. In this slide, I'm going to show you how to link the two world wars by using a formula. The formula is easy. But first of all, let's review the background of the time. In 1914, there was the outbreak of the First World War. The war ended only 4 years later, in 1918. And then there was the Paris Peace Conference. It was controlled by the Big Three, France, Britain, and the United States. They were all featureless countries. In 1923, France occupied a part of Germany. And then 1925, there was the signing of Locarno treaties. For these two, they are too difficult, so it would not include in our syllabus. In 1929, there was the Great Depression. The world's economy suffered a lot. In 1933, we saw the rise of Hitler in Germany. Finally, in 1939, Germany attacked Poland and it marked the start of the Second World War. The formula has been shown on the slide by using red words. A plus B equals to C. Paris Peace Conference plus Great Depression equals the Second World War. So this is the formula. This is what you have to remember in this slide or in this video. If you are interested in this period, please read more, do more research, so that you can extend your knowledge and make this formula a more complete one. Here I would like to ask two questions. The first one, what happened in the Paris Peace Conference? The second one, what happened in history between 1929 and 1939? Let's try to expand the formula. Because of the legacy of the First World War, the Second World War started in 1939, but it was a long-term course. After the First World War, there was Paris Peace Conference. The decision made in this conference was unfair to some country. That's why they were unhappy. For example, Germany, they need to sign the Treaty of Versailles, and they were punished harshly. While Italy, not all their demands has been accepted in the conference. That's why they were not satisfied. This point is related to political aspect. Some economic factor, they also caused the start of the Second World War. It would be the Great Depression, happened in 1929. We saw the rise of totalitarianism in the 1920s and 1930s. There are three examples. The first one, fascism. It was common in Italy. The second one, Nazism. It was popular in Germany. And finally, militarism from Japan. These three countries, they want to expand themselves. Finally, they form as Axis powers. Other countries like Britain, France, and the United States didn't stop their expansion, and eventually, it caused the outbreak of the Second World War. In Asia, it started in 1937. In Europe, it started in 1939. Let's have a revision. Because of the First World War and its Paris Peace Conference, some countries like Germany and Italy was not happy. Added with the economic crisis caused by the Great Depression, some of the dictators, they rose to power and they want to expand themselves. Eventually, it caused the Second World War. At this moment, maybe it's quite complex for you, but all these are what we have to learn until the coming of the summer holiday. Nearly half year for you to learn only a formula. As you know, the First World War caused the Second World War, but how? You have learned some in the previous video. The First World War caused economic difficulties in most of the country. It also caused unhappiness among several countries like Germany and Italy. They want to challenge the status quo. They're actually the long-term cause of the Second World War. So, how about the short-term cause? Let's focus on an economic crisis happened in 1929. The Great Depression started with the Wall Street crash. At that time, the United States people believed that the stock price would continue to rise. But suddenly, within a month, it reduced by 90%. So a lot of the Americans, they have no money. They have to go bankrupt. This affects the global economy because at that time, the United States was the richest country. And they buy a lot of product from other countries. Now, no more such buying. They will also provide loans to other countries that need help. After the Great Depression, no more such loans. That's why other countries like Japan, Germany, Britain, and France, all of them suffer from economic recession. At the beginning of our teaching, in the first term, you know that Britain was the most powerful country in the world because of their economic strength. At the same time, because of their military power, mainly their naval power. And then another country, Germany, was able to challenge Britain because they become very rich too. And they have their own military strength. It relies on their army. However, you will find that after the First World War, both these two countries, their strength declined, and we saw the rise of the United States. The United States relies especially their economic strength. They were the wealthiest country in the world. They control half of the world's gold. They have a strong industrial power. They are the largest industrial power in the world. And because of their huge population, they had a large market. That's why they were so important to other countries. They want to sell product to the United States. So, how rich was the America at that time? Maybe I should show you a video from a film, The Great Gatsby.
You see, the rest of New York simply came
automobiles and
uninvited.
all weekend, every weekend. Ended up
The whole
at
city
Gatsby.
packed into automobiles and all weekend, every weekend. Ended up at Gatsby's.
And I mean everyone, from every walk of life, from every corner of New York City. This kaleidoscopic
And I mean
carnival
everyone, from
spilled
every walk
through
of life, from
Gatsby's
every
door.
corner of New York City. This kaleidoscopic carnival spilled through Gatsby's door. My invitation. Just my... You don't need to know anything. Certainly my invitation.
Caravanserai of billionaire Playboy publishers and their blonde nurses. Heiresses
Caravanserai of
on
billionaire
Gatsby
Playboy
Beach.
publishers
My
and their
boss, Walter
blonde
Page,
nurses.
losing money at the roulette
Heiresses comparing
Gossip
inheritances
columnists
on Gatsby's
alongside
beach.
gangsters
My
and
boss,
governors
Walter
exchanging
Chase,
telephone numbers.
losing money at the roulette
Film
tables.
stars,
Gossip
Broadway
columnists alongside
presenters,
gangsters
morality
and governors
protectors,
exchanging
high school
telephone
defenders,
numbers.
and viewing
Film
systems.
stars,
Dubious
Broadway
descendant of
directors,
Beethoven.
morality protectors, high school defectors, and Ewing Clipspringer, dubious descendant of Beethoven. You know where I might find the host, Mr. Gatsby? I live just
and
next
a little
door.
embarrassed.
Gatsby?
I decided
I've never
to
seen
get
Mr. Gatsby, sir.
roaring.
Well, I know it has.
Alone and a little embarrassed, I decided to get roaring drunk. way. A gas history of the world! And accompanying
Look around you. Rich girls don't marry poor boys. Mom,
Come on!
this is familiar.
Nick, look around you. Rich girls don't marry poor boys. She's mine. Your face is familiar. Weren't you in the 3rd Division during the war?
Oh, yes, the 9th Battalion.
I was in the 7th. Excuse me. I knew you looked familiar. Having a good time, old
Oh,
sport?
the whole thing's incredible. I live just next door.
No one's met him.
He sent me an actual invitation. Seems I'm the only one. I still haven't met Mr. Gatsby.
No one's met him.
They say he's 3rd cousin to the Kaiser and 2nd cousin to the devil.
I'm afraid I haven't been a very good host, old sport. You see, I'm Gatsby.
He's smiling. He's very
He smiles, one of those rare smiles that you might come across 4 or 5 times in life. It seemed to understand you and
After watching the film, please turn to page 54 of your textbook, and we shall look at the impact of the Great Depression. Again, we should divide countries into 3 groups. The first group includes Germany and Japan. After the Great Depression, there was the setting up of totalitarian government. Why Germany? Because Germany need to pay reparation. However, Germany did not have money. In the 1920s, the United States would provide loans to Germany. And then Germany used this money as reparation and give it to another 2 countries, Britain and France. After that, Britain and France used this money and then pay back their debt. This is a cycle. However, as the United States suffered from the Great Depression, they stopped the loans provided to Germany. So Germany did not have reparation. And Britain and France failed to pay back the debt to the United States. And Germany suffered the most. Okay, let's turn to talk about Japan. Japan relies heavily on the United States because they sell silk to the United States. And the United States didn't have money anymore after the Great Depression, so they would not buy silk from Japan, and Japan suffered from recession. The economic strength declined a lot. This is what happened in Japan. Another 2 groups of countries would be Britain and France. At first, they were the great powers. They dominated the world. But as they do not have money, this affects their military strength. So they cannot maintain peace. Germany tried to challenge their leading position. Lastly, the United States. Because the United States want to speed up their economic recovery, that's why they choose to isolate themselves. They would not help other countries. Even the United States want to stop the expansion of Germany and Japan. They would prefer economic reconstruction other than military intervention. That's all for the content of these 2 weeks. Let's have a revision. Firstly, please remember the formula. It is related to the relationship between the First World War and the Second World War. The second point would be, please remember the causes and the impact of the Great Depression. For the remaining part of the formula, I'm going to explain one by one in the coming few weeks.